Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another edition of my best bags under a certain price series. This is going to be all bags under the value of $2,500 or around £2,000. It was originally going to be under $1,500, but I found it quite difficult to find enough bags between that quite narrow price range of $1,000 to $1,500. So I ended up extending it to $2,000 and then I upped it to $2,500. Most of these prices in GBP are on the lower price range. However, I did find that because the bags are a little bit more expensive, they tended to be from European brands, which made them much more expensive in the US, which is why I had to up it to $2,500. If you missed my other two videos in this series, I've also done one on best bags under the value of $500 and then $1,000 as well. So if you want to check those out, I'll link those down below. So I hope you guys enjoy this and I'm going to get started. So I'm going to be going in price order and my first choice is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. This will come as no surprise to anyone that's been watching me for a while, but I absolutely love the Neverfull line. I think they're such wonderful, great bags. I am a tote girl anyway, so the tote is my go-to style of bag for every day, going to work, running errands, things like that. But I particularly love the Neverfull because I think it's incredibly hard wearing, they're very comfortable, and I just love the look of them as well. This one is in the Azure print in the size. I do also have the GM in the monogram as well. I love both equally. I wouldn't want to give either of them up. If I had to pick only one, I might go for the GM just because I don't have any other tote bags which are that size. However, I also think the is incredibly functional, and I'd say the is probably more suitable for day-to-day life, you know, especially going to work. It looks just a little bit neater and more compact. This one is in the is in the Azure, but has the rose ballerine lining, which I also absolutely love. I love the damier ebene as well, and I definitely wouldn't be adverse to getting that one as well in the future, but I can't get enough of the Neverfull line. It's priced at £880 for the size in the UK, and then it's $1,260 in the US. They have seen quite a few price increases, but even though I bought my first one back when I think it was in the £500 range, I would still happily pay that. Well, I wouldn't happily, but I would still pay the inflated price now because I absolutely think they're worth it. They're total classics, they're incredibly durable, and I think they're just very, very functional bags. So next up is a bag which I don't actually own, but it's the Chloe Mellow tote, and I will be inserting pictures of all the bags I don't have here with me. This retails for £880 or $1,250, so very similar to the Neverfull. However, the one I originally saw and fell in love with, which was quite a few months ago now, was the blue, and unfortunately it seems to have sold out in most places. I could only find it on one online store, and that was on Farfetch via an Australian boutique. So if you live in Australia, then you're in luck, but otherwise it does convert to quite a bit more. However, you might still be able to find this colour in store, but otherwise they do offer them in a few different colours. So there is a cream, a red and a black, I believe, as well. They're all lovely. My personal favourite was the blue. I thought it was really lovely. It's quite unusual for Chloe to do tote bags as well. Usually they do shoulder bags or crossbody bags, so this was a nice departure for them. It still is very structured, but it does have the added edge of hardware as well. So very French, very cool, but very, very chic as well. I absolutely love this, and I think it's a gorgeous, lovely choice. My next choice is also from Chloe, and this is my Chloe Drew in the mini size. It took me a really long time to pull the trigger on this. I know the style has been around for many years, so it's pretty much old news by now, but I only got mine in August. However, I have used it quite a bit since then, and I just totally fall in love with it. I think it's such a wonderful style. I love the fact that the chain, the hardware really reminds me of jewelry. It's a very dressy bag. You can wear it casual. I tend to wear this more for going out on occasions, and I think it's just lovely. I was slightly concerned about the practicality, but it's really surprised me in that area as well. The lock isn't too fiddly to get in and out of. It holds quite a bit. It doesn't seem to be so sensitive to colour transfer or anything like that, and I just had an overall really great experience with it. This does retail for £1,050 or $1,650, so it's kind of mid-range in terms of luxury prices. However, I do think it is good value for money in terms especially how I've been using it and how much enjoyment I've gotten out of it. So if you're looking for a smaller bag or an occasion bag, I think this is a very good choice. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I do think it stood the test of time pretty well. Next up is the Saint Laurent Kate bag, and this is the one with the tassel. I picked the one in the small size, but they do have a few other size variations as well. This retails for £1,050 or $1,990. Those of you who watch my channel regularly might know that I talked about this bag before. I did actually purchase this bag and then return it. However, I do think this is going to be one that I'm going to repurchase. It is firmly on my wish list, maybe more towards winter when I'm using more dark bags again, but I do think it is very, very lovely. It's definitely on the small side, which is why I had my hesitations about it, but if you only want to use it for occasions or if you're happy just to carry very minimal items, then I think this makes a lovely choice. I did recently buy another Saint Laurent clutch, which is in the pale pink, and I love that one to bits. But the reason why I wanted to include this one in my list is because I think the tassel is very, very iconic, and I can't think of any other bags which has that kind of design feature, you know. It's very quintessential Saint Laurent. I think it makes a great statement without being too over the top, and I think it's just beautiful. So if you're in the market for an occasion bag but don't want to go down the Chloe route, then I think this is definitely one to consider. Up next is the Balenciaga City, which I think is another incredibly iconic bag. I actually used to own this one myself, but I did end up selling mine. However, I think that was more due to colour, so I went for a quite bright bubblegum pink, and I love pink. I have a lot of pink bags, but with the style, it just didn't really kind of gel with me, so if I was ever going to revisit the style, I'd probably go for a black or something very neutral and boring, but I do think it's a great bag. It's very comfortable to wear, and I know there are so many die-hard fans of this style, which is why I thought it was worthy of inclusion on this list. Even though the style has been around for so many years now, I still see it all the time on celebrities, on girls on the street. It just seems to be eternally popular, and I think even though it does look really good in, you know, black and beige and those really classic colours, I also see them bring out so many new colours each season, and they're always absolutely gorgeous. These do retail for £1,195 or $1,950. There does seem to be a little bit of variation because there are just so many different styles and colours and materials. However, they do tend to be around that price range, which, considering that they are quite iconic, I think that's a fair price. You know, they are very beautiful bags. They really age well as well because of that really soft kind of weathered leather, and I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. So if your style is a little bit more edgy, then I think this is a really, really wonderful choice. Next up is the Gucci Marmont, and I feel like this is going to be a bit of a controversial entry because lots of people really seem to either love or hate this bag. I'm definitely someone who loves it though. I got this for Christmas and I've used it a ton since. I know quite a few people seem to take issue with the logo and they say it reminds them of the CoverGirl logo. Personally, we don't really have CoverGirl in the UK, I don't think, so it doesn't really remind me of the brand too much, and I like it. You know, I think the whole look is very 70s, I think it's very fun, and I think it's just a very cute bag. You can also wear it all three ways with the strap, which is something I've mentioned before, but is a really big selling factor for me. You know, you can just wear it looped over like this. You can also wear it on the shoulder, and you can also wear it crossbody, and I don't really have any other bags you can do that with, so it's very functional, it's very light, very comfortable to wear. It can hold quite a bit as well, and I think it's just great. So these retail for £1,210 or $1,890, and I do think that's a fair price. You know, obviously it's not going to be Chanel quality, but those cost like $5,000 now. It's crazy, but I think for what it is, I think it's a really nice option, especially if you want that kind of quilted flat bag look, but you don't want to spend thousands and thousands and thousands. I think this is a really, really lovely option. My next choice is the Givenchy Antigona. I've owned this since October, November last year, I think, and I absolutely love it. This is a firm favourite of mine at the moment. I've gotten a ton of use out of it. Even though I love the style, I was a little bit nervous about buying it, which is why I went down the pre-loved route. I haven't traditionally had the best of luck with top handles. I'm definitely more of a shoulder bag, tote bag kind of girl. This does have an emergency strap, but it's not really designed to be used with the strap all the time. However, I love it so much that I've looked past the occasional inconvenience of it being a top handle. I think it's a great style. I think it looks great. It seems to go with so many different outfits. It also fits a ton, so I don't think I've ever managed to fill it completely full. It comfortably fits a laptop. It does get a little bit heavy, so I wouldn't really recommend filling it to the brim. However, I have been getting a lot of use out of this. As I mentioned, it seems to go with absolutely everything, and for that reason, it's been a solid go-to for me. So I think it's a great choice. It retails for $1,465 in the UK or $2,435 in the US, so definitely a bit more expensive in the US. However, I do think it's a classic of its kind. You know, these have been around for quite a few years and they still seem to be very, very popular, so I absolutely love mine and I would definitely recommend it. I'm down to my last two bag choices now, and my second to last pick is the Louis Vuitton Speedy B in the Empreinte leather. I have come so close so many times to buying this bag, and I've always hesitated just because the Speedy isn't traditionally my kind of bag. However, I do think it's utterly gorgeous and I love the look of it. I think it's incredibly luxurious. It's very quintessentially LV, but it's still a little bit edgy as well. I just love a lot of things about it. They have undergone a redesign. I like the old design. I also love the new design as well. I think they look strong either way. These do retail from £1,470 or $2,270. That's for the smaller size, which is the 20, I believe, and they go up to the 25 and the 30, and the price obviously increases along with that. They come in so many beautiful colours. I love Empreinte leather anyway. I have a zippy coin purse in the Empreinte and it's incredibly durable. It feels very luxurious and the colours are amazing. They always seem to show up really well on that kind of leather, and I think this is gorgeous. I recommended this bag to one of Dan's friends recently as a present for his wife, and he thought it was gorgeous as well. It just seems to be a universally popular bag, so wanted to include it on this list. I think it's beautiful, especially if you're a fan of LV and their very classic iconic shape. So we're down to my very last bag choice, and this is a little bit of a random one, but I wanted to include it because I saw this recently and fell in love. It's such a beautiful style and a little bit different from what the brand has been doing recently. So it's by Valentino and it's called the Panther Bag. It comes in suede and it comes in a few different colours. The one I'm thinking of is in the blue and I think it's absolutely stunning. It does have two little panthers right at the top, which is where the chain goes through, and otherwise it's quite a simple satchel style, so it kind of reminds me a little bit of the pochette métisse from Louis Vuitton, and I think this is just such a gorgeous bag. It's totally different from what Valentino have been doing in the past few years, which has really been very solidly focused on the rock stud line, and I love the rock stud line. I have some rock stud shoes, you know, I think the bags are gorgeous. However, it's really nice to see them experimenting a little bit more, and I think this bag is just stunning. You know, it's a little bit different. It has that kind of jewelry element like the Chloe Drew does, and I really haven't seen anything too similar to it recently, so I think this is very beautiful. It's definitely more on the pricey side, so this retails for £1,670 or $2,545. I can't really speak of the quality, but from the look of it, I think it's really, really beautiful, which is why I wanted to include it as my last pick. So that's it for this video, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'll leave links to all the bags I mentioned down below in the description section, and in the comments below let me know what your favourite was and if you think I missed any out within this price range. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.